I offer my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Master and Lord Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, who is here now, permeating all this place and in the heart of each one of us. So I offer my pranams to each one of you as well. Dear brothers and sisters, I feel honored to have this opportunity to be with you here. And I would like to share with you the reason why we are here. We have to think why we are seated in this hall. Why are we alive in this body? We are here first and foremost because we have received a divine invitation and a divine touch. Swami invited us here because he knows that each one of us has an important role to play in his divine mission. He believes in us, and he expects that we should believe in ourselves and dare to become divine. We are here because not only we have traveled hundreds of thousands of miles to reach this place, but we have traveled thousands of lives to be here now. We started as a mineral, then eons of time later we became a vegetable, then we became animals, and one day we became human beings. But also since that first moment when we had this human form, we traveled a lot. We had to evolve from just having a human body and behave like animals. Then many lives after behave like demonic beings. And one time we started to be really humans. We started to have some coherence between our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. And we are here because we want to advance and become what we really are, divine, to realize our nature. When I first went to India, on my first trip, I really was not fully aware of who Sai Baba was. I went to see another spiritual master, but I was supposed to be with him for a whole month to receive a lot of teachings that was supposed to take me years in Argentina. But after 3 days of being with him, I told him, I cannot stay with you one day more. I have to see Sai Baba. And he told me, I understand, go. From that very moment that I left his house, miracles started to happen in my life, one after the other. That first trip, if I want to share with you all the miracles that happened between I left his house in Mumbai now, till I reached Madras, where Swami was supposed to be, one miracle after the other. And I will not go through this because I have only 20 minutes to speak. But what happened was that one day Swami was going to speak in Abbotsbury, a very big place, and after his discourse, there was going to be a cultural program. And I was able to be seated close to where the chair of Swami was. So when he finished his speech, he came and sat on his chair waiting for the cultural program to start. And I thought, well, this is a great opportunity to introduce myself. So I stood up, I had jeans, long hair, I had my business card. So I said I will introduce myself, and I went to him. No one stopped me. So I reached him and I gave him my business card. He received it, and then he did like this and told me, you are very lucky. And yes, I'm very lucky. And so are all of us. The only thing is we need to be aware of how lucky we are. Because not only, as I said before, we have this human form, which is the most difficult to have, the most difficult in the whole universe, but also we were born at the time when the Purna Avatar incarnates. And usually we say that there are, 8 billion people at this moment on planet Earth. I mentioned this another time. We must be aware that every second a human being is born and every second a human being dies. So since the time of Krishna Avatar 5,000 years ago, a little more, till today, trillions of human beings have incarnated on Earth, or even more. Out of this incredible number, we were born at the time when Avatar came. And not only that luck we have, not only we were born at the time when Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba incarnated, but we are mature enough as to be in a spiritual path, which is very difficult. You see how many people are in this planet at this moment in the spiritual path. A few compared with the amount of human beings in the planet. But not only that, we have been selected by the Purna Avatar to be his disciples. And not only that, we have been selected by him to be his instruments. And this is an incredible fortune that we all share. We just need to be aware of it and smile and be happy all the time, because the Purna Avatar has chosen us, has said to us, perhaps many lives ago, I will be your guru, you will be my disciple. I will protect you, I will guide you, I will teach you, and I will love you till you wake up. And this is the divine promise that he gave us. Now is our time to say yes to him. On that, I was not planning to tell this story. I will complete this tomorrow in my next speech. But on that first trip, when I went to India, I was a vice president of another spiritual organization. And when I reached Madras first, and then we went to Whitefield, and then to Prashanti, every day I was able to give a letter to Swami. One day he called me daily, but he took the letters every day. And he gave me Padnamaskar, and he signed photographs, or gave me Vibhuti. I thought that it was normal. I was not aware that it was not normal at all. And one night I was in my room, and I felt that he was the Purna Avatar. So I decided to surrender completely to him, and I wrote in a piece of paper my resignation to the position I had in that Raja Yoga organization. I was vice president in the organization in Argentina, and I wrote in that piece of paper that I resigned because I found the Purna Avatar, and I wanted to surrender completely to him. So I wrote this. The morning I went for darshan, and Swami, instead of giving his usual darshan, going first to the ladies and then to the gents, came straight from the veranda to me, stood in front of me, and he said, yes, I will see you this afternoon. You know, what we have on the first trip. I said yes to him in the night. In the morning, he said yes to me. And the story continues, but I will tell you this tomorrow, because the best part I will share with you tomorrow, because it has to be with the theme of my talk tomorrow. I will not disappoint my devotees. Brothers and sisters, what is the purpose of this conference? This conference is a milestone for the Sathya Sai International Organization of Africa and for the lives of each one of us. We are called by Swami to come here. Why? He wants us to many things, to receive more information about the Sai organization, to receive more knowledge about his teachings, to have more yearning to apply those teachings in our lives, to have more determination, more passion, more intensity, to share our experiences and in that way increase our faith in him, to share our love between ourselves, to increase the flame of love for him. There are many purposes for which we are here today. We need to realize that this conference is much more than the discourses that you will hear, than the workshops where you will participate. Everything is a combination of the consciousness and willpower, or I can say human effort and divine grace. By organizing this conference, by attending this conference, by participating actively in this conference, we are providing the human effort. Swami will provide the divine grace that will be showered on us without our knowledge, but they are going to be like spiritual seeds that will go into our souls and will germinate at the right time. So don't think that just being here is a material act. It's a spiritual, a very important spiritual moment in our career, in our spiritual career. We have to do our part. Swami said in one of his divine discourses on his birthday that the most important sadhana that we can perform, the most important service, is to work in the Sri Sathya Sai International Organization. And he added, don't ever leave the organization. Those that leave are very unfortunate. So we have to bear in mind this incredible opportunity to be part of an organization that the Purna Avatar created, to uplift the human consciousness of ourselves and of whole humanity. We are seeing just a very little part of his mission, because most of it will happen when we leave these bodies. You know, Jesus was on earth 2,000 years ago. At that time, there were perhaps 12 apostles, perhaps 100 followers. But who won? Those that crucify him or him and his message? The same will happen with the Purna Avatar. The same change in human consciousness will happen. Perhaps we will not see with our eyes the whole picture, but let me tell you, we'll be part of this. Each one of us will have an important role to play in this change of consciousness that will happen in the human race, in the humanity. We have just to be alert and to know that we have to do our part. It's, there are different kinds of spiritual aspirants or Sai devotees. That those that go to the Sai center always do the same thing. That those that every day they create more enemies than before. And there are those that every day they work more and more and more. We have to be that kind of devotees. I always use this analogy. That is that when we were born, and we were born at the time of the Purna Avatar, and we are born interested in the spiritual matters, it's like we have received a Formula One car, a Ferrari, to reach the goal. He said, in this life, I give you this car, not a Fiat, not a small car, I give you a Formula One car. But there are different kinds of drivers. Some are afraid and go at 20 kilometers per hour, 10 miles per hour. Some are more afraid and go with the feet on the brake. Some are even more stupid, they put reverse. But there are some devotees who have full faith in Swami and press the accelerator to 300 miles and reach the goal. We have to be that kind of drivers. We have to have confidence, faith, and love. These are the three things we need. We have to have faith that Swami is God, confidence that He's here for us, and love, because love is the instrument. All our spiritual activities, meditation, study circles, working for the education of the children, service, are all purificatory acts. I hope that you understand my English. I'm not feeling very well, but if you understand, it's because Swami is performing a miracle here. So these are good actions, but real spirituality. One day, Swami asked me, he called me in the veranda, he asked me, what is a spirituality? He caught me by surprise and said, to go inside. He slapped my face and I said, no, go. And then I realized what spirituality is. Spirituality is a way of being, a way of living, a way of remembering God all the time. It's how we react every moment of our lives. Not when we go to the Sai center or when we meditate in the morning. It's how we are 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. This is a spiritual life. This is what we have to achieve. Being constantly aware of His presence. I will tell you, we have to wake up remembering Him. I always share this story of how is a day with Swami. When I wake up, the first thing I do is I turn my face and I think that Swami was sleeping by my side and I give a kiss to him. I woke up with him. Then he comes with me to wash my teeth. When I have breakfast, I have my granola And before eating the granola, I offered it to him. And I said, please, Swami, you eat first. And I offered it to the chair where I feel he's sitting, to every photograph of Swami that I have plenty in my kitchen, plenty. And I offer it to each one. And I have to feel that each one of these photographs had accepted the food. And then I eat. Because that food has become prasad, food accepted and touched by the Lord. Then I work, and when I go back to sleep, again, I feel that he's by my side. I will not watch a movie that he won't like. I will try to read something that he likes. I will think about him. I will listen to Aravind's talks. He's with me also in the night. I listen to his talks that are so nice. And then I'll say goodnight to him, and I hope that he will visit me in my dreams. I will finish with two experiences. You know, Ramana Maharshi used to say, the Guru has no form. So the Guru can never leave because he's everywhere all the time. Swami never left. When Swami left his physical body, and please, Alex, remind me of the calendars. I was supposed to have here the time. I have 3 minutes, very good. When Swami left his physical body, I was in Mexico in a meeting of the Sai organization. There was a meeting of the young adults of Mexico. It was an incredible thing because we took a picture, and the picture, when it was revealed, there was like a rainbow over all of us. Beautiful. But then I was calling every day to India to find out how Swami was. And sadly, one day they told me Swami has gone. So I had to tell everybody what happened. I waited for the morning because I didn't want to spoil the night of everybody. And I couldn't go to India. I was in Mexico. And I decided to go to India on my next trip, that was for Guru Purnima, when we are going to unveil the Mahasamadhi. I had no idea how it was going to be. It was covered by some wooden platforms. I thought it was going to be like Shirdi, you know, a statue of Swami city. That was my idea. One night before leaving to India, I had a dream, a very vivid dream with Swami. I saw the Mahasamadhi as it is. The only difference that instead of marble, it was all cement, but exactly the same. Perhaps at that time they didn't put the cement yet. But there was another difference. On top of the tomb was Swami's body, covered with cement. And I went, in my dream, I went up to the Mahasamadhi and I touched his body, and I was crying with such pain in my heart. I couldn't stop crying. And suddenly his body raised and got hold of my head, and I felt the heavy arm of Swami, very heavy. Imagine an arm of cement, bringing me to him. And in one moment, his head was near my head, and he started speaking to my ear. And I felt his warm breath in my ear. And then I woke up. And when I went to India, I don't know, Dr. Reddy and Dr. Olsen at that time decided that I had to speak on the Mahasamadhi day. And when I started speaking, it came to me what I heard from him. I haven't gone anywhere. I am everywhere all the time. This was the divine message. So we must remember that. I have written 45 experiences. These are just a small part of the experiences he gave me. I was very skeptical. I needed to see to believe. And even in my first trips, when I saw so many materializations, part of my mind was still skeptic. So he gave me more and more and more experiences till he won. And I fully believed in him. But what I want to tell you is that, I don't remember what I was going to tell you. What happened is that most of the experiences I had were not in India, were in Argentina, in the United States, in any part of the world. And the most important experiences I had with him were after he left his body, he left his physical frame. Those were the most touching experiences that I keep in my heart. I will tell you the last one. It's not the last one, but the last one I cannot share with you. I will start crying, so I don't want to cry now. You know, Swami says, give one step towards me, I will give one step towards you, right? You say yes. I want to know that you are awake. Yes? Okay. One day, many months ago, let me start with the beginning of the story. Many years ago, like 15, 20 years ago, I went to India. I carry with me always a portable altar. You know, I used to carry to darshan when I was not sitting in the veranda, like a box with calendars, with vibhuti for Swami to bless them, so I could distribute them in Argentina and all the neighboring countries, because we went everywhere to share Swami's message. And I needed calendars to give to every person. So I had a lot of calendars from many years, and I selected some to carry with me. This is my portable altar. Every morning when I wake up, I kiss each one of these, and when I go to sleep, especially when I travel, I kiss each one of them. When I go to darshan from the room I had in Prashanti, I used to go through the garden, and there was a statue of Ganesh that, like this, I don't know if you see it from there. I have a very special relation with Ganesh. And I do namaskar to Ganesh there every day, and it's very close to my heart. When I found this, it is in India like, how can I? You write addresses here, right? So I bought it. On one side is Swami, on the other side, Ganesh. So I love all of them, but this is a special one for me. So on that trip, when I was going back to Argentina, I had to go through this scanner, and they asked me to take out the jacket where I had all these and put it through the scanner. When I got my jacket, all the calendars fell. So I recovered one by one. And when I was at the plane, I think I realized that Ganesha was not there. I couldn't get out of the plane and go back. You know, I went through immigration and it was impossible. And I lost it. It was so painful for me. You know, Swami is without form. He's Nirakara, Nirguna. But anyway, I'm still, part of me is not there, so I am attached to the form. So it was painful for me. Well, what can I do? What happens, happens, right? It's one of the 4 laws. We have to be detached. Many years later, like 7 years later, in the garage of my house, there is a section where the lady who works there irons the clothes. And I have a table, and over the table, a photograph of Swami. In my house, there are photographs of Swami everywhere. Once I had to move from one house to the other because I didn't have enough space for the photographs. And now the house is big, but I cannot move because I cannot move to a smaller house. I will not have space for the photographs. So, but what happened? On the floor under that photograph, 7 years later, was Ganesh. Swami materialized it for me 7 years later. It didn't end there. Years passed. I was so happy. I went some months ago to Mexico. We had a conference of the Sai officers of Latin America in Mexico, not in the capital of Mexico, in San Luis Potosí, which is, I don't know, 200-300 kilometers away. After 3 or 4 days, when the conference ended, we were going to take the bus to bring us back to Mexico to take the plane back to our countries. And I took my suitcase to put it on the bus, and before putting it there, I opened it to see if everything was there. And I had all these calendars on my shirt. When I bent, I don't know the word, all felt. And I started to bring them back, but suddenly Ganesh was not there. I looked everywhere under the bus. I said, where it is? It was there 2 minutes ago. I didn't find it. I thought maybe it fell into the suitcase. I couldn't take everything out because the bus had to leave. When I reached Mexico, I was taken to the hotel. The next day, I was going back to Argentina. I took everything from the suitcase. Ganesh was not there. Disappeared. From that day onwards, several months ago, again, the pain of losing it again. Swami is playing. What happened? One night, Swami says that also the very important sadhana is to apply immediately and implicitly his message in our lives. When we hear something or we read something that we believe is right, we don't have to procrastinate. We have to say, yes, I will do it. One day I was in the veranda and Swami came, and it's not for you this. He said to one man sitting near me, from today, don't drink any more tea or coffee. And he replied, Swami, from this moment onward, no more coffee, no more tea. This is the attitude. No, I will try. That's it. That message was for him, not for you to stop drinking coffee or tea. Anyway, I feel that when something reaches our heart that as true, that is as good for us, we need to apply it immediately. So that night, I received something from Swami. I said, Swami, I will do it from today onwards forever. I took that decision. In the morning, I was kissing my pictures, and suddenly, in the middle of the air, appeared Ganesha. I had my hand here, and I saw it. I never saw a materialization. I saw many materializations, but never something like this. Floating in the air, I saw the picture of Ganesha, and as soon as I saw it, it went up. Instead of falling, it went up and got attached here. Got attached in such way, Swami's glue, before it was attached, when I lost it. And here it is. For me, it's not a divine grace of Swami, a divine answer to my commitment to him. He's telling me, I am there with you all the time. I'm listening, I'm inspiring you, I'm waiting for your response. As the same way that we have two legs to walk, we have two things: Swami's teachings, Swami's guidance, our effort, our decision, our consciousness to apply them. Believe me, whenever you realize that something is important from the spiritual point of view, it's because you are ready to apply it in your lives. Nothing that you will hear is impossible for you. Swami wants us to realize that we are God, nothing less than that. So we need to do our part with intensity, as I said before, with passion, because he will help us always. Thank you very much for your time. I send you all my love. Jai Sai Ram.